Wednesday. Today we have a short show, a half-hour show. We're going to hit a few things, and there's a reason for this short show. We have a birthday boy today. Dr. V, join me. I know it must be Spartacus watching with us. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dr. V. Volps, we love you. Happy birthday to you. I wish you told me earlier. I would have had a cake. I would have had everything. You didn't tell me. He's the reason we're a half hour, but I suppose I hope everybody, luckily I sang early, Dr. V, so nobody else would hear me and hopefully not lose anybody with what we were doing here. So
another trip around the sun.
You're going to be, I'm not going to give you his age, but I've been telling you, we've known each other for 55 years. You throw in the years before college, and it gives you a good idea of where he is. And I can tell you this.
Yeah, we met when we were 6. What are you talking about?
We were 6. Good afternoon, Spartacus. You just missed me singing happy birthday to Volps. So he's that old, but I want you to know I'm the young guy. I was always in the last month at the end of the month. So I'm the young buck running around. Dr. V is the old guy here, okay? I'm totally immature. What am I going to tell you? Thumbs up. So what we're going to do is this. We're doing our half. We're going to hit some stuff real fast, rock through it, and hopefully get a lot of comments and just go. The attack on Iran by the bombs, the American attack on Iran with the bombs. You all know how I felt. You all know how Dr. V felt. We had a big debate last week about it, or Sunday. Had a great turnout. We'll talk about that. Then we're going to start rolling into JFK Jr. JFK Jr. and what he's doing with the vaccine committee. What I do want you to remember with JFK Jr., which to me says it all, I'm going to say it again when we hit it then. How can a head of the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services walk into a polluted stream, put his head and whole body into the stream, and take his grandchildren there? So anybody who does that tells me that person doesn't know what he's talking about, okay? Because when you're just taking your grandchildren to a polluted stream, either you're looking to give them immunity or you're just totally out of it. Sorry, Dr. V, I'll be right back with that, okay? So here we are, Ayatollah's hospital bunker. We loved it. We are talking about that. And then the other thing we're going to talk about is the ICE roundups. So let's get started. What's going on in Iran? I see it, and we'll roll over to Dr. V, or he'll just be jumping in, or we look for your comments. I think the move by Donald Trump, by the president, was correct. I've been upfront about it. Dr. V, I don't know if he really agreed, but we disagreed. But as to this, it's done. Now, did he obliterate the place? No. There's no way it was obliterated. How do you obliterate a mountain? I believe, don't we have a place called Cheyenne Mountain or something mountain where for nuclear war, we have a whole area, everything built to be protected against nuclear blasts in a mountain for the government if there was a nuclear war. It's just very hard to destroy a mountain. You just can't do it. And without going in, it's hard to know. Now, did the Iranians walk away with all their material? Did they get anybody out of there? Was there anybody in there? How many holes? There are like 3 holes. I'm sure they whacked it hard. The Israelis said it's a few years back. But do I think...
2 years back, Mark, 2 years back. It was 2 years back before they dropped the bomb.
No, I just say what the Israelis said. I'm not disagreeing.
3 months?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just kind of coming in. I was about to say what you were about to say, Joe. The DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, the American Defense Intelligence Agency, as a result, came out with a report, which they're having the FBI look into and all this kind, because it got leaked. And it's always hard. I've listened to all these generals. They say it's really hard to totally call what happened in the first view, especially when you're not there. But that report said they knocked him back another 3 months. That doesn't sound like that much. But I think it's a lot more than that. I think what has happened, and it still goes back to the way I've been looking at this. I think by whacking these guys, they know we're serious. And they know they can only push so far. So I think that I asked last time, Joe, why weren't the Iranians just playing it smart, putting their heads down and saying, okay, I give, and then buy time, do what they want to do. But they wouldn't. What they did, that's why I said it was the problem, and why I really thought Trump had to make the move, was they kept saying, we're not stopping, we're not stopping. They told the IAEA that they were out, that they threw them out after the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Administration, went in and said that they were lying to them. So there was nothing you could do. They should have just said then, okay, but they didn't. So we had to go in and we had to hit them, okay? That's where I think. Now, obliteration, I don't see it. I think it made an effect. I sure haven't seen the Ayatollah, have you? Where is this old guy? I mean, look, we've been talking about it. Supreme leader. What is he, supreme? Why do they always call him supreme leader on TV? I mean, he's like a joke, this guy. Whenever you see him, 86 years old, he makes Joe Biden look like a young whippersnapper, okay? So, I mean, that's where it is. So, here we are. I just don't see how, what we're going to do from here. Now we have a chance to have people hopefully sit down and start talking peace, and maybe use this to start tracking over to Gaza and talk about stopping things over in Gaza and moving forward a day after, because we haven't heard any day afters. Maybe he did, Toto. I don't know. He maybe did. That's where I see it going right now, Joe. I just don't see anything else. I think they're talking. What do you think? Go ahead. Give me the perspective.
Yeah.
Give me a
The
perspective.
other perspective is, all we've done is we've hardened them. Unless you're going to kill 91 million Iranians, eventually you're going to have to negotiate with them. And what has this taught them? Number one, that the United States is not a reliable partner to broker some sort of peace. And whoever's left, and I agree, Ayatollah, he's old. I'm not worried about him. I'm not particularly worried about the Iranian defense and
IRGC?
Nuclear capability.
Okay.
But what I am worried about is this next generation of people that comes along is going to really hate the United States.
Why?
And it just continues this continued, cycle of hate and terrorism, and we're not any closer to any peace.
How do you know, Joe? How can you say that? There's no more Hezbollah stopped firing missiles or basically into Israel. Lebanon, so far, we're only talking so far, okay? But the Lebanese government, for the first time in gosh knows how long, has taken over control of Lebanon. Hezbollah no longer runs Lebanon. Lebanese run Lebanon. That's a big move. Syria, Assad got pushed out because of this whole thing, of this. It's a domino effect. Assad got pushed out, and so far, everything is just so far, Joe, and I'm not saying it can't change and it can't get worse. I'm with you on it, it could. But so far, Assad's out there. Syria looks like it's trying to come together. Mm-hmm. And you got a whole bunch of different ethnic groups in there. You have that going on. Hopefully, you're going to be talking about something going on with Gaza. Understand the Israeli elections or the Israeli season. I believe the Knesset goes into vacation the month of July. So if Netanyahu, as far as I'm concerned, has any smarts at all, I'm sure he's hearing from Trump about trying to make some type of a deal. We're coming into July. He'll have all that time to put it together, and then in September be able to come up with a plan. That's what I'm hoping for, Joe. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't trust them to do it. I just think what's going on in Gaza is just too much now. So there has to be some type of an answer. But if you have that, then you have deals with everybody else, and then this hitting Iran may have just worked. But it's all but, as I threw to you. Maybe. I'm just saying it could, if the cards fall right, and they could, it could work out. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it will. I'm saying it could. Joe.
Yeah, I agree. It could work out. But the point is, it was working out. We didn't need to drop the bomb. The bomb didn't do anything except implicate us and upset a lot of Iranians. And as I look at the news, the Iranian population seems to be more united around the Ayatollah than they were before. That why we're having success in these other countries is that people within the country are not satisfied with their leadership, and they're looking to change things. They're looking for economic interactions with the United States and with the rest of the Western world. Things are moving in the right direction. So why do you upset it for what, a couple of months extra to delay this nuclear program? I think you've just gotten people more angry and more likely that they're going to institute the nuclear program than before. We're winning. Iran has been horribly weakened. Their allies have been horribly weakened. We're already winning. We didn't have to do this. I think Trump was manipulated by Israel, and now we've lost our bargaining chip.
So you're saying Trump's a wimp? He was totally manipulated. Look, I don't see that. I see Trump thinking he saw an easy win, and he was going to jump onto the winning team. I've been saying that.
He jumped on there.
That's it.
Very short-sighted.
Yeah, but that's wait a second. That's not manipulation. That's a decision made by the president. I'm just saying we got to look at our words here, Joe. That's a decision made by the president to try to look like a winner, and did it. He wasn't manipulated. He waited until he saw things were going the way he wanted them to go, and then he jumped on. It's like you get a pile, and then the big guy comes on and jumps on at the end. And that's what he did. So I don't give him manipulation. This is what he wanted to do. He's great at always trying to come out with a victory. So in his mind and in everybody's mind he did, it was done very well by the military and everything. The problem you've got is where I disagree with you is, I don't think the Iranians love the Ayatollah. I think you got all these young people in Iran who want to do their own thing. You have these big political prisons where these women were put in, where they shaved off their hair, where they were killing. There was like 20,000 people. They just put them down. The IRGC, the Israelis, I think, blew out the front part of that prison, and the Iranians had to close the prison. And I just think, I don't think, look, if you're attacked, you're going to be nationalistic. You're going to look at, oh man. But after the attack, you say either my government is jive and I can't support them, or I want to support them. The problem you've got is in situations like this, when a government like Iran has been beaten up by everybody outside, what they do is they start beating up the people inside because they want to take total control and make sure they have total control of the country the way they did before. And the people of Iran are going to have to make up their own mind. I don't think they're that angry at us, Joe. I think we didn't hit cities. We didn't kill people. We didn't do that. Okay, so I think they're mad at their government. They're going to put the right people in teams. I'll tell you something else I don't like. You remember, what's her name? Christy Lake? What was her name? Ran for governor of Arizona. Carrie Lake. She's the head. She's running like the Voice of America and all that stuff. She shut down the Farsi Voice of America. So think about how dumb these people are in this administration. So when the Ayatollah cut off all the internet in Iran, we were sending out stuff you could pick up on radio and VPN and stuff like that. She just shut it down. Hey, why not, right, Joe? Why should we spend the money to try to do what you're talking about? We should have been telling them the truth. We should have been telling them what was going on. At least let them hear something. That's what we always did. Lech Walesa, who led everybody forgets him, what a hero, who led the Poles against the Soviet Union, always said it was Voice of America, Radio Free Europe, that they always heard that they were the other side because they could never hear the other side. And that's where they were missing there. So, so Robert, I'm with you too. Go ahead. So that's just where we are there, Joe.
But here's my concern.
Well, watch our time, Joe. Joe, we got to watch our time because it's your birthday. It's your birthday. I want everybody to remember this while you're watching. It's Joe's birthday, baby. 72 times around the sun. I'm 71. Who cares? And we just go right around, and we just keep on going. We're just strapping in our seatbelts and saying, here we go, right, Joe? By the speed of light. I mean, is time flying or what?
57 is right.
57.
Yeah, exactly. You got it. Robert knows how old I am.
Robert knows. Go ahead. Robert, I love you. Go ahead, Joe. Go
I
ahead.
just want to say one thing, we got to move on to the next topic.
Go on.
But one of the reasons, or the primary reason countries want to have a nuclear bomb is for security. Look what happened in Ukraine. They gave up the nuclear bomb. The United States promised that if you give up nuclear bombs, we'll protect you against Russia. And then when push came to shove, we did. Iran feels that they need a nuclear bomb so that they can protect themselves, their sovereignty. And without that, they're completely vulnerable. I mean, North Korea developed nuclear bombs, so we can't go in there and invade North Korea. The countries that have nuclear weapons feel safer than the countries without a nuclear bomb. And so by going in there and bombing the country, what we've done is we've demonstrated that their sovereignty is not really respected by the United States. And so that's why I think it increases the chance that they're going to try and develop a nuclear weapon.
I love you, Joe. I just so don't agree with you, only because you can't compare Iran, in my opinion, you can't compare Iran to Ukraine. Ukraine's a sovereign nation that lives on its own, that wasn't threatening anybody. Iran armed Syria, armed Lebanon, armed Hamas for everybody to be able to attack Israel and America. Death to America, death to Israel. They didn't like Jordan. They hated the Saudis. And that's what they set that. It wasn't set up for defensive purposes. It was set up for offensive purposes. The layers got ripped away, and suddenly they're sitting there going, whoops, what happened? They're not Ukraine getting invaded. Nobody's invaded them. They got hit because they have invaded and attacked others. And Joe, they killed so many Americans. I have no sympathy for the Ayatollah.
Defend Iran. I mean,
it just is.
They've been bad actors for a long time.
It just is. They hate Americans. Aloha, we love you. Robert, I don't know about extremist Muslim religions, but Ukrainians are regular people. What can I tell you? Thank you, Robert, for old coots. We do have good women. What can I tell you? Things are good. We're rocking here. Okay, so we're there. We're popping. I just like running around. Next thing we're going to talk about here is, before we go, let's go to Robert Kennedy. Then I want to give what I consider the absolute crazy sickness of the week. RFK Jr., Robert F. Kennedy. This is what's going on. We have a vaccine committee that's set up by the smartest and the best doctors in the world. Okay? And there were like 17 of them. Kennedy comes in and says, hey, they're all owned by the pharmaceutical company, so I'm going to fire them all, put 8 people on there. One of them already quit. Okay, I don't think too many of them have any vaccine understanding, vaccine knowledge, or anything. So here we go, and I'm going to turn this over to Joe because Joe knows about this stuff. But this hits heavily as my head goes off because I didn't want to get in Joe's face. This hits because he's a birthday boy today. This hits heavily in our whole argument about de-evolution. You've all been hearing us. How long we've been talking about this? December, a great album. I always say it. Don't people tell you about de-evolution? They're hearing it from us. Listen to this. What a great album. Oh, yeah, I love this brain word, Spartacus. Are we not men? We are Devo. We're going backwards. We're snails with little tails. So you sit there, here we are, and JFK Jr. has now put these vaccine one skeptic on there to say, hey, now they're saying you don't need hepatitis B. They're talking about getting away from the hepatitis B vaccine. But then we go even further. I've been reading these articles. Now, it's on birth control, but it's something called, in the old days, people did what's called the rhythm method before the pill came out. Everybody knows, I think, what the pill is. That was the birth control people take. And now these influencers on wherever, on whatever the media is, are saying you don't need it. The pill, it hurts. You don't want to do the pill. You want to go back to these methods, and they tell you do it this way, this way, this way, this way, this way, which is all what I grew up understanding as the rhythm method, which is a religious approach where you hope the timing is right and everything works. You want to talk about de-evolution? You want to talk about going backwards? I mean, come on. Destroying research, We're looking at our doctors and what are we saying? Don't have the greatest doctors in the world? I'm now going to turn you over to the greatest addiction doctor in the world, or definitely one of them, to tell you what we are losing. And Joe, don't make it personal. Tell them about other stuff and the other things you're seeing as we're going backwards, and how this JFK Jr. Oh, and before Joe does it, remember about JFK Jr., guys. This is the guy who walked into a polluted stream with his grandchildren. The head of the Department of Housing and of Health and Human Services walked into a stream, went under, totally polluted, and took his grandchildren. That's the guy who's in charge of our health. Devo, Joe, rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of de-evolution. Here you take one of the crown jewels in this country, our academic community, our scientific community, and the medical advances that we've made, and instead of honoring them, he's taking away funding, he's slashing budgets. And then we have a wonderful system in place where we have smart people who volunteer their time to work together as a team to review data to make recommendations for what's healthy or not. And they're scientists, they look at data. So not only a doctor of treating patients, but I'm also a PhD doctor. And so one of the things that I'm really serious about is looking at facts and looking at data. And this administration is not interested in that. They start off with the conclusion before they look at the facts. And so rather than have scientists in there who are willing to look at the facts, he fires all them and brings in people who already have a preconceived notion of how it should work. And I'm telling you, if you mix politics with medicine, if you mix politics with science, you only wind up with politics. And that's what we have now. And so the recommendations that you're getting from this administration are wrong. With respect to addictions, there's good science to show that excessive alcohol drinking is bad for your health. And then there's a debate in the scientific community about what involves excessive drinking. And when we looked at the data, it looks like if men had more than 2 drinks in a day, women more than 1 or 2 drinks a day, it's unhealthy for you. And that was put in our guidelines for the dietary guidelines for America. So it was published. Anyway, they're changing the guidelines, I think because the alcohol industry doesn't like that guideline to say, just make sure you drink in moderation. So they're taking away the guidelines and just having it where they're changing the wording to say just drink in moderation.
Well, Joe, can I ask a question? Are you saying that the swamp in Washington, today's swamp, is now getting owned by the alcohol corporate companies that are selling alcohol and liquor and stuff? Because it's interesting, the young people are going alcohol free. Everybody's trying to go alcohol free, and they say as you get older, it just really tears your brain apart. So are we now owned by the big, what is it, Constellation, whoever the big companies are? Are we owned by all of them? Come on, Joe, don't tell me the swamp is still in Washington.
Hey,
I mean, the Trump, oh, come on. Kennedy can't, oh, come on, Trump can't be swamp.
I mean, the Gen Zers are beginning to understand the health consequences of excessive drinking, and they are beginning to reduce their drinking. They're going to, mocktails, they're going to non-alcoholic beverages. They're drinking in a much more healthy way, and so they're losing profits. Now they're smart enough. They're going to just sell non-alcoholic beverages and things like that. They'll eventually adapt to it, but now they're putting pressure on making recommendations for what's healthy or not based on science, not based on facts, but based on what's in their financial best interest. We don't need a government doing that. That is Devo, that's devolving.
And it's great music. And I'll tell you, Joe, the one thing to keep in mind, was a great article, there's mocktails cost as much as the ones with alcohol, and people are going, what do I need a mocktail for? If I ain't getting a buzz, I ain't paying for it. So on top of that, it'll hurt everything. They're going to have to reduce the prices of the mocktails. But I'm too old to go out and do that anymore. I never really did it too much. But man, I couldn't handle that stuff. What can I tell you? Okay, but I'm with you. That's the bottom line. We have, and I'm going to say it again, a head of Department of Health and Human Services who waded into a polluted stream, put his whole body, his head under it, and then took his grandchildren over there. This is the head of our Health and Human Services. To believe anything he says is enough to make you just shake your head. Oh yeah, eating well. Well, I don't need him to tell me to eat well. Jack LaLanne told me to eat well. Look up Jack LaLanne. He pulled trucks. He didn't need Robert Kennedy. Okay, you're not telling me anything that's, he had the Jack LaLanne thing, the juicer or something, before anybody had juicers. Come on, Robert Kennedy is a joke, and he's taking our vaccines and destroying it by putting people who don't believe in it. And don't listen to the imposters. Yeah, there are people out there who, may know, they sure know more than I do. But most of these influencers are jive. Follow the doctors. Let's quit going back to medieval times. The doctors make mistakes. Medicine's still an art, but come on. We got data, we got statistics, and we got facts. And the fact is, our cabinet head of Health and Human Services loves to dunk himself into polluted streams. That says it all there. Let's now hit this next thing on ICE. You all saw we had up there on our thumbnail. I'm just really trying to jump. I got to do it for our birthday boy. You all, if you want to rewind, you'll be able to, rewind. You'll be able to hear me singing to him. I got that. I warbled as quickly as I could so nobody could hear it. I don't know if you all saw this the other day. It's really not a good situation. ICE is out there doing their job. I don't get in. Okay, they have a job to do. Okay, I don't want to get into who they are or what they are. They have a job to do. I have complained on this live stream on numerous occasions that they hide their faces behind masks and think it's a total joke because nobody's going after them, okay? But they want to hide and will look like, I think, thugs doing it that way. They sure aren't the Lone Ranger. That's the only mask I ever really believed in. So here we are, and in LA, you know that they're checking out the Home Depots and stuff. The other day, they chased down an immigrant, or they call him an illegal immigrant, from a Home Depot who was doing his job. He was weed whacking, which he always does. He had a weed whacker. You see them chasing him. One of these ICE guys, they all have masks on. They're all looking tough. One of them has a gun, aims a gun at a car passing by. Aims a gun, this guy. Nobody's doing anything. Nobody knows what's going on. All these ICE agents, they take this immigrant who's been in America for like 20-some years, working no problems, take him down and beat him up. They beat him up. Look it up on Google if the videos are there. They beat this man up. Let's take it a step further. This man has 3 sons who have served in the U.S.Marines. This man, who must be so bad that they had to sick 5 thugs on him with those masks. I'm outraged by it. You have to see this video. Beating this man up, an older man on the ground, punching him. You couldn't miss it. Punching him, kicking him, taking him, throwing him in, doing everything they could to just take this guy apart. How old could he be? 60? And he has 3 sons who served in the Marines, and 2 of them are active duty right now. That is how the Trump administration is treating people in America. It's horrible. Horrible. Joshua, I can't show you the vid. Go, because I don't have it here. Go on to Google. It's right there. Please look it up. Look it up, my friend. It's not out of context. They talk to the sons afterwards. And this is the video that ICE put up. There's 2 videos. There's one video that went on Instagram, Joshua. I'm happy you're asking. There's one video that went on that came up on Instagram, and another one that the government put out. And it showed this cop with the gun, with the mask and the gun aiming at a red car coming in. I saw it was all on TV last night. You couldn't miss it. And they're beating this guy up. Both of the shots, of the videos showed him getting beaten up. And the fact is that the sons served the United States Marines. 3 of them. And this guy's paying taxes. He's paying his taxes. He's probably paying his FICA. And everybody wants to beat him up. That's going too far. It's just going too far. No, he wasn't resisting Joshua. He was running. They took him down and beat him up. And you should see it. They beat a bunch of guys, 60 years old, in the face, 5, 6. He wasn't a criminal. Okay? I'm happy they showed it. He wasn't. He's been here for like 20-some years, no problems. They just picked him up because he was working at Home Depot, for years working at Home Depot. Put his 3 kids through school. Americans who served in the U.S.Marines, Joshua. They served in the U.S. Wouldn't you, Robert? If you saw 4 or 5 guys with masks on coming after you, I'd run. Joe, would you run? If I saw these 4 or 5 big... How would you know? You don't know.
People are dressed as cops and shooting senators.
Right, they walk right up to a door.
This is ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous. You don't know these guys. Take off the mask and show some ID. Come on, do it right, okay? They didn't let him go. They took him in. They did not let him go. This isn't resisting arrest, Roberts. He didn't resist arrest. He ran. He didn't know. You got these guys who look like thugs coming after you. Please look at the video. These guys could do it to you. They could do it to you. You wouldn't run if this guy came at you if you had a gun. They didn't pull the gun immediately. And what's he doing pulling a gun with one hand? He's holding. Aren't you supposed to hold a gun with 2 hands? That's what I was always taught. Not one. This guy thinks he's a gunslinger. Right. That's not, nobody can attack them. Come on, Joshua. Nobody's attacking these people. They got guns. They got bulletproof vests. Nobody's attacking them. That's an excuse to act like a thug. That's an excuse to try to make people get scared when they see you. That's an excuse to be able to hide your face so nobody knows if you're real or not. Just like that guy who shot and killed those people in Minnesota when he pulled a mask over his face and said he was a cop and he killed him. No difference. They do need to identify themselves. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Okay? Now, whoa! I am angry. I gotta calm down. That's the worst. So I'm gonna calm down now. I'm gonna be a little bit sad. We're gonna come in because we're rolling. We're getting into our music quickly. I do want to notice something as Dr. V and I get older. We keep orbiting the sun. Dr. V's birthday is today. Remember, he's got everything happening. He's got a big Italian dinner tonight, and he didn't invite me. He didn't. I'm his family, and he didn't invite me. He always tells me he'll keep something. I never see it. I'll be there soon. 3 rockers.
We'll do it.
Yeah, three rockers died. They're just dying. I want to throw it out to you guys that you probably never heard of, but they really put out some good music. In the 60s, Lou Christie, he just died. He had his song Lightning Strikes. If you all know the 4 seasons of Frankie Valli, Frankie had that incredible falsetto. Lou Christie had that incredible falsetto. And in Rhapsody in the Rain, I'm Gonna Make You Mine, sang it with Leslie Gore. He just died. Bobby Sherman, not a fan, but he had a song, what was it? Low little woman, please make up your mind. Okay, Julie, do you love me? But he was big time. This guy got 25,000 letters, I think, a week at ABC because his fans loved him. He had a great big grin, plenty of hair, great looking. They loved him. And you know what I like about him? He always said, it was fun. You didn't hear him moan about it. He went on and he became a EMT and teaching EMTs at LA Fire Department. Right on, okay? And this guy, I just say incredible. So I give him incredible kudos and goodbye. We're sorry to see it. And Mick Rouse, you guys don't know Mick Rouse, but Mata Hoople, he was with them for first 4 albums. I think it was the first 3 albums. Then All the Young Dudes came out. David Bowie gave him that. All the young dudes carry the news. Great album. But Mick left because he didn't want to run it anymore. Ian Hunter was doing more glam. Mick runs over and starts a band with a guy named Paul Rogers. Bad company till the day I die. He was the lead guitarist and wrote most of this stuff with Paul. Feel Like Making Love, Can't Get Enough. You Are a Shooting Star was my song. Don't you know that you are a shooting star? That's our. We go and we're gone. It just happens, man. But you keep going around the sun until it happens. So I say, I don't feel bad. I feel bad, but I'm happy I lived to hear all this music. Now, let me give you the album of the week. The For Cars' first album. Let's give you really upbeat stuff. This is one excellent, excellent album. With the good, let the good times roll. My best friend's girl, just what I needed. I'm in touch with your world. You're all I've got tonight. Moving in stereo. This is like a greatest hits album. Incredible. The Cars, they came out during New Wave. I was in law school, we're running around, and this music just starts cooking. And you had Elvis Costello was coming out then, the Pretenders were coming out, and music was just rocking. Even the Kinks came back. They put out some really good music then. But these guys were video, these guys were everything. And most of them are pretty much gone now. But all I can tell you is this. It's good to live, it's good to run around, and I want to remind everybody, Joe and I disagree so much. We go at it with each other. We don't agree with a lot of our commentators, or we love our commentators, because it doesn't matter. What's great is we can all talk. We can all be one. We can all look at one another and say, yeah, we can disagree or we agree, but we're Americans, or even those of you who aren't, but understand where we're coming from. We love you. I see we got people from the UK. I'm looking at all this, Joe. We got UK, Canada, South Africa. I can't believe all these people are watching us. So we love you all. We love your countries, but we love doing this, and we love seeing you talk. Don't get mad at one another. Enjoy. And when you get angry, don't get like Trump and start cussing this, F this, F that. Put on some music. You're all I've got tonight. I need you tonight, and just lay back, man. It'll make you feel so good. It opens your mind, the imagination. Nobody bothers you. You just feel good. You just feel good. And I'll tell you this, I feel even better knowing that my buddy of 55 years just is having his birthday today. And I love him, and I consider myself lucky to have a pledge brother like this, and to have a guy like that's how I feel. And I want to wish him a happy birthday. And I want to thank all of you for watching us. Come back. Our big meeting, our big day is always Sunday. This guy's going to have himself a party tonight. So we love you, Joe. I love you. And if you're square, we ain't going to be there. Joe, what do we say? That's the way it is.
Period.
Period. We'll see you all Sunday. Happy birthday, Joe.
Thanks.